Good morning, fellow Ghanaians. Good morning. I trust you are fine this Wednesday morning. I was born on Wednesday, so I'm always excited on Wednesdays. But this morning, I am in morning clothes because I am not so excited. I'm not excited because there's a matter that's touching on many Ghanaians. And in fact, the recent census results proved that our housing deficit is still a big problem. Good morning to you, Mr. President. Good morning to you, fellow Ghanaians. I want to talk to you this morning about rent. And before we start, I want you, my viewer, who do not own your own house, you're a young person, you're a NAPCO beneficiary, you're getting 700 Ghana cedis a month, you are a national service person, you're earning about 600 cedis a month, you're working somewhere 800 cedis, 1,200 cedis. I want you to do a simple mathematics for me. Calculate how much you earn every month. Calculate how much you earn every month. Multiply that by 12, that's 1 year. Now multiply the 12 by 2, that's 2 years. And then calculate how much you pay for rent every single month. Deduct that from the total that you got from your salary times 12. Deduct that from it. And you realize that you're using, if not 40, 50, maybe 60, sometimes 70% of how much you earn on rent alone. We have been talking about accommodation deficit in this country for donkey years. Government go, government comes, and they all talk about accommodation deficit. They talk about it. In fact, in the last election, we were told even about some rent allowance that will be given to young people like you and I to be able to afford places to live in. But what is the story today? Have you finished the mathematics? Have you calculated how much you earn a month? Multiplied by 12, that's 1 year. And have you deducted from it your rent that you pay every month? Multiplied by 12. Deduct that and you realize that, because your rent is taking a chunk of your money. You don't even have enough money now to pay for water bills, for electricity bills, for transport, for food, for clothing, for small chilling, for no coffee between you and the boys and the girls. So now at this point, what kind of a sustainable and bright future can you create when you are spending all your sweat? This morning you have woken up, giddy, you are going to work. You are watching us on social media. But after you earn everything, you end up spending everything on rent. All of your earnings, almost all, on rent. Now, why has that become necessary? That has become necessary and that has become possible because landlords and landladies in this country have taken the laws into their own hands. And it is also because we have a rent control department that's almost toothless, with all due respect. The rent control department has told us that they have issued more summons to a lot of people, a lot of landlords. What has happened? I know that you have complained to the rent control department that your landlord or your landlady is frustrating you. Sometimes what even irks me out is that it is a caretaker who's handling somebody's property. The person is as far away, Denmark or US or UK or France or Finland, and they are the ones who are tormenting you. They don't sleep in the house, but they come and they ensure that somebody locks the gate at some point. Now I'm saying that the situation where somebody puts a one bedroom accommodation and says that, it is 400, it is 350, it is 500. There's no standardization of how much people can charge and what people cannot charge. Somebody says, I will have a one bedroom, or if you like, a single room, self-contained with toilet and bath and a small kitchen inside, and then they slap something on and say, it's 800 Ghana cedis, 700 Ghana cedis, and everybody is watching. Meanwhile, there's a rent control department, there are rent officers who are in this country. Now, this is why landlords and landladies are taking advantage of you, because I don't see leadership at the rent control department. They are just there, sorry to say, in name. The rent control department leadership are just there in name. They are not doing the work that the office affords them the opportunity to do. They are just there in name. The rent control department. This morning, they'll take their bath, they'll eat breakfast, they'll go to work. Now, it is also because there's a lot of governmental influence and interference. So you have professional rent officers, professionals who understand the job, who are kept at bay. And people who are favorites of either which government is in power are brought to the fore to handle rent issues. So you go and rent a home. You and your family want to live there. The home is serene as of the time you go in there to rent. But by the third or fourth month, you will find that the landlord brings another person who perhaps is a carpenter who decides to do his carpentry work in the house. He's spraying all manner of things to freshen the work that he has done, to smoothing it, and then you are inhaling it. The landlord can't say anything. You petition the rent control department and they can't do next to nothing. That's where we are now. We are in a situation where you, because of how much you earn, you want to stay conveniently and in a bit of a comfort, at least, so that when you move from home, you endure all the traffic and the potholes and all the dangers. You return home and you want to have a place to lay your head, some place that you can relax and rejuvenate and refresh for the next day. But no, that will not happen. That will not happen because by the time traffic delays and you get home around 9 or 10, the landlord says, I have locked the door, I have locked the gate. Now, you are asking yourself, what kind of rights do people who rent have? And what kind of responsibility do landlords have towards those they rent the buildings for? You will find a scenario, for example, where somebody lives in a single room. And then while his things or her things are in the room, the landlord brings another person to come and say, come and inspect the room and see if it is suitable for you to be able to rent. Where does that happen? That I am in my room, I'm enjoying my privacy. Then my landlord, my landlady brings somebody in there to come and inspect. It's because you have an almost toothless rent control department. Leadership is cost. Everything else is effect. If you are done with the mathematics, you realize how much of your money you are spending on rent alone. If you're done with the mathematics. So now, when you start supporting party, you start supporting big men, you'll be thinking about yourself as a young person. I'm asking the question again. When in 2020 we were told about a rent allowance that will be given to young people, do you remember that? A rent allowance that will be given to young people to be able to rent. We are in the 10th month of the year. Where is the rent allowance? It's a simple question that we're asking. It was a promise. Where is the rent allowance? The rent control department has told us that we live in a container nation. We have more containers, people sleeping in more containers than in regular houses. People are sleeping in containers and kiosks in regular houses. And you'll be shocked at the number of people who are working in microfinance, people are working in, insurance companies, people who are working as teachers who sleep in those containers. And they sleep in those containers not because they want to sleep there. They sleep there because we have all as a country decided that, we want to have affordable housing. So they collect your money from SNIT, the contributions that they force you to pay by law. They collect your money from SNIT and then they say, we are going to construct affordable housing. You who earns 1,500 cedis a month cannot afford that affordable housing. In fact, I dare to say that even those who earn 5,000, 7,000 cannot afford those so-called affordable housing. And then the best part of the painful thing is that they leave those projects to rot. Saglem is there, Boteman is here. We have left all of them, they are rotting. But does it make sense that they say, affordable housing, let us take our money, our contribution to be able to put together affordable housing. And the houses are not affordable to the people who must be able to afford them. So you have graduates sleeping in containers. You have graduates sleeping in kiosks. You have graduates patching with their friends because on their own, they cannot rent. When you see two girls or two boys in one room trying to be besties by force, trying to manage a single room that is going for 450, 500 Ghana cedis, it is because on their own, per their salary and what they earn, they cannot afford 500 Ghana cedis. So they have decided to do power sharing. They are doing 250 on the side, 250 on the side, bring it together, 500 cedis. So even if the person has bad odor, bad manners, he is not friendly, they want to live with the person because Accra stay by plan, Kumasi stay by plan, Takrady stay by plan. This is the abandoned project. This is supposed to be your money that has been abandoned. It was supposed to be what? Affordable housing. I have asked the first question. Does it make sense that we are putting together our money for us to put together affordable housing units, and yet the people who contributed to put together the affordable housing cannot afford it? And it is the big men who already have homes, who will buy for their girlfriends and their cronies and their allies. It is these same big men who will tell you that, oh, I want to support you with rent allowance. It is these same big men who say, oh, I care for you, who will be able to buy these ones for their girlfriends and their cronies and allies. And you say you're a Ghanaian youth and you have kept quiet. Think about it carefully. Think about it carefully. At your age and with your degree and with all your beauty and handsomeness, you still live in a compound house with all manner of people. You can't have a place that you call your own after working for more than 15 years, and you still share a common bathroom with all manner of people. Do you know what they go and pour there when they go and bath? Do you know? Do you know why your landlord still has the effrontery to come and knock on your door while you are still in there, perhaps with your girlfriend or boyfriend, to say, I brought somebody in to come and inspect the room because your rent is due in a month? The rent control law says that you can stay in an apartment for up to 3 months. But go and see how many petitions the rent control department has received and ask me how many of them they have brought to a closure. In fact, even the rent control department, they are tenants in most places. Rent control, who is supposed to ensure that people don't pay 2 years rent. Rent control department, they themselves are tenants, just like most of our municipal and district assemblies. So this morning, I came to you to talk about rent. And I want you to do a simple thing for me. If you are finished doing the maths, think about it properly. If you are finished doing the maths, talk about it. If you are finished doing the maths, share this video. If you are finished doing the maths, let those who have power to lead us to make policy and decisions wake up and smell the coffee. Because if we had good leadership at the rent control department, we wouldn't be having such situations. If we had good leadership there, we wouldn't be having such situations where you live in a house, there is no gate. Young person, you go to work, you are kuntai. When you go home, there's no gate in front of your house. Can you imagine? Good morning to you.